Okay, Miss Jenny, good question. Miss Jenny 18. Cassidy, how do you get to that point where you don't care about weight? And even though she's asking Cassidy, I'll answer it myself. So here's the thing. I try not to pay attention to my physical body anymore because I spent so much time obsessing about it when I was younger that now I just enjoy my body for whatever it is. I am 38, going to be 39. No, I'm 39 now. I just turned 39. What the hell am I talking about? I'm 39 now. I'm getting older, but things are starting to hang. Things are starting to hang lower than I'm used to. Skin is no longer bouncing back. So things are starting to just do their thing as people get older. And I don't want to run into the same issue that I've seen several people run into, where the moment that they hit that period in their life where their body gets older and it's an obvious change, they freak out and they start going through a midlife crisis because they can't handle it. I don't want to go through that. I'm like, no, I'm getting older. I'm just going to embrace it, accept it. Gives me a reason to be a bitch. Because, when you get older, you have a reason to just be bitchier for some reason because you've been through enough, you've seen enough. So for me, I don't pay as much attention to my body. But this is what I do, right? Because I've noticed that the less I concern myself with what my body's doing, or the less I concern myself with what I ideally would want for my body, the easier it is to take care of my body. So when I wake up in the morning, I get up, I sit at the edge of the bed and I just kind of sit there and breathe. And I take deep breaths because I'm feeling my body again. And when I wake up every morning, I am used to not, it's going to sound weird because most people don't relate to me with this. When I wake up, I don't immediately recognize my body. My body feels like a foreign thing to me. And so it takes me a moment to kind of just embrace the reality that I'm in a physical body. And so I wake up and I sit at the edge of the bed and I just breathe. And I breathe in and I feel my body. So I just get a sense of my body, what it feels like, what is this feeling, what is that feeling. And then once I feel like I'm situated in my body, then I get up, go to the bathroom. All guys usually pee first thing in the morning, so I go and pee. And then I will look at myself in the morning. I will look at myself and I'll look at myself in the mirror. And that's it. That's it. I don't do anything. I just look at myself because I need to remember who I am in this moment. I'm Fernie in this lifetime. This is who I am. Okay, cool. And then I get on with my day. That's the only time I really look at myself for several hours because I don't look at myself again. Because what does it matter? What does it matter what I look like? It's what I feel like. That's what's important, right? So then I have to look at myself again when I fix my hair for my lives or for, work, and then that's it. And I don't really look at myself again for the rest of the day. So I try to avoid looking at myself in the mirror not because I don't want to look at myself, but when I don't look at myself often, when I do see myself, I recognize myself and I'm like, oh, you look, hey, handsome, how you doing? And so it's almost like you look at yourself enough to appreciate what you're in, but you don't look at yourself enough to become obsessive over what's wrong or what isn't perfect. So it's almost like acknowledging your physical self, being in this body, but not enough where you're going to sit there and obsess about everything. And that's how I handle it. And then for me, it's more important to feel good in my body. So it's less about looking good in my body and it's more about feeling good in my body. There are days where, I literally shave maybe once or twice a week. I don't shave often just because I don't like it, but that's what I do. So I usually shave on Tuesdays. That lasts me for the rest of the week because I won't be shaving for the rest of the week. And then on maybe Sunday or Monday, I'll shave again. But I'll start growing hair and I'll start getting darkness here, and of course, because that happens, right? And that's okay. And so by the end of the week or by Sunday or Monday, I kind of look like a grizzly, and then I'll have my hat on or whatever. But it's it doesn't matter. I ain't going anywhere. What does it matter? But it's more about what I feel like, and so I focus more on how I feel. If my body doesn't feel good, or if I don't feel well in my body, that's an issue for me. So I have to find ways to feel good in my body regardless of the condition of my body. My body's not perfect. I've got problem areas. My knees are a little bit on the weaker side. My joints in this are a little bit on the weaker side, and I tend to my energy levels can kind of fluctuate, so I have to manage my energy levels. So for me, the only issues with my body are technically the joints sometimes when they act up, and then also whenever I am having difficulty concentrating because of my ADD. So that's pretty much the only issues that I have with my body, and I find ways to cope with it as best as I can, because I'm not going to let my ADD stop me from being able to do what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to let my joints keep me from walking on the trails, because I get so much joy from just the experience of walking on the trails, even on the days that I don't really feel like it, because once you don't do anything for a while and you sit around and do nothing, your body feels like crap. And so when I go walking, it just almost gets things moving and shifting and blood flowing, and it just feels so much better, physically feel better after my little walk. And so I look forward to my walks. And some days my body does not want to go walking. It's more sensitive, or it feels more prone to like tightness or whatever. So sometimes if I need a vape just to go for my walk, that's what I do, because I'm gonna go for my walk, and I know once I'm done with my walk I will feel amazing. So for me, it's more of just like getting used to the body and what it's doing and how it's operating. But I just don't care as much about my appearance. I mean, granted, I don't want to look like a crazy person on camera or anything like that, but I don't sit there and obsess about my looks. And even I used to, especially when I would get on camera and record videos, I was like, let me use this filter, let me use this, let me use that. And I'm not saying I don't use filters, but I try to avoid filters that make my skin look perfectly like smooth. I try to avoid filters that make me look inhuman. I try to avoid filters that make me look like something drastically different than what I naturally look like. I only use filters to accentuate or enhance what is already there. So, and it's funny because, you know, like right here on camera, you know, if you're like examining me and looking at it, I can say, oh my God, my skin looks so imperfect. It doesn't look like that in person though, because the lighting in the camera, that's what it does. But I don't give myself a hard time about it. I don't give myself like, oh my God, you look like this in front of the camera. They're gonna think you have all these acne. Who gives a rat's ass? Like, it doesn't matter. You're not here for my skin. You're not here to get skin tips. You're here to get spiritual advice, and that's what you're here for. So to hell with the skin. To hell with anything else of it. So I just don't sit there. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy, and it's just not that important to me. So you kind of have to go into that perspective that what does it matter? What the hell does it matter what you look like, what filter you use, etc.? I'm like, what does it matter? I always get irked sometimes when I see people and every single picture is obviously over filtered, where they have no pores, they have no identifiable features, they kind of just look like a faded blob in the background, and and they feel very, very attractive. And I'm just like, you look crazy. What are you doing? Let me just see you. I just want to see you. I'd rather see you than see a version of you that you feel comfortable with. So, but that's the thing with the physical body. But the physical body is a tool. It's here to serve our purpose and to help us achieve the experiences we're here to have. That's all it's here for. That's all it's about. It's nothing more than that. Yeah, you can enjoy your body. It's definitely been more enjoyable for me to be on the slimmer side, just because I can feel my hip bone, and it's easier. I don't get as winded when I'm walking, and I like the sensation or the feeling of my body. I like this, I like certain things about the structure of my body. But at the same time, there's always going to be things that we want to change. There's always going to be things that we want to make different. And that's okay. It's okay to want to have a different body, but to sit there and obsess about it, that's when you have to be careful, because you'll get into trouble, and that will become the achievable thing, the thing you have to get, the thing you have to gain, the thing you have to have. And we have nothing. We possess nothing in this world. We possess nothing in this life. You can spend all your time building up your body and making it perfect and be one of the most unhappiest people around. And I've met plenty of people like that, where they look amazing, like literally perfectly sculpted bodies, but they are some of the most unhappiest people I've ever met. And they have the worst attitudes in life that I've ever met. And I'm like, well, what's the point of all of that? Like, if you just would re-sculpt your entire persona or your entire sense of being, you'd probably be fine, and none of this physical stuff would matter as much. But that's where your value and worth is based on, is this physical appearance.